What's up, fellas? I want to run through the entirety of UFC Fight Night Mexico City, Brandon Moreno versus Steve Erceg. To start off the prelims, we got Maquel, Mederos, and Austin Hubbard. Obviously, coming into this, I've got Maquel, Mederos over Austin Hubbard, mostly due to Austin Hubbard being a little bit older, losing to really old guys like Vinc Pichel in the past, and I think Maquel Mederos has a much brighter future in the UFC generally, so I've got Maquel Mederos probably by second round knockout. He has pretty good power, very underrated in the division, and I think he'll bring the heat. Following it up, I've got Jamall, Emmers, and Gabriel Miranda. Being Gabriel myself, I got a back. Nope, just kidding. Jamall Emmers is probably going to knock this guy out. Jamall Emmers is very famous for anyone with real talent knocking him the fuck out. Gabriel Miranda only has one win in the UFC, and it's against a guy who's 0-4 in the UFC. I don't see Gabriel Miranda doing much in this fight. He'll probably get chinned, knocked out in the first or second round. At least I'm hoping. I kind of see it happening considering the chin of these two guys, so give me Gabriel Miranda getting knocked the fuck out. Another steamroll I kind of foresee coming is Vinc Pichel against Rafa Garcia. I think Rafa Garcia is just so much more advanced with the wrestling. I think he has better pace. He's a lot younger. He's 12 years younger. And we know what the statistics always say. I think 66% of younger fighters by a 7-year age gap is more likely to win. I think Vinc Pichel is a very good striker, but that's where the list ends. He doesn't have good cardio. He looks lean, but doesn't act lean, you know? And I just see like a guy like Rafa Garcia outpacing him the entire fight and probably winning by decision. So probably like a 30-26 or 30-27 decision for my boy Rafa Garcia. And next, we've got a women's strawweight fight where I actually have one of my favorite women's fighters of all time, Loopy Godinez. She has the record for fastest back-to-back fights as a woman. I think it was 8 days or 7 days. It was really incredible. She won the first one, lost the second one. I thought she won that fight. It was against Angela Hill, and it was a split decision. But regardless, I love how active she is, and I think she's going to really bring the pace in this fight against a girl like Julia Polastri. I don't know too much about Julia Polastri. I'm not going to really go into depth about her. Generally, I haven't seen much that's impressive, at least according to the footage. And I see Loopy Godinez kind of just running over her with really good grappling, some good ground and pound, and probably a decision victory, 29-28 or 30-27. Next in the prelims, we got a guy that I think should actually be on the main card, Christian Rodriguez. This guy has proven time and time again he's going to destroy these prospects, and Melquizael Costa is no different. I see C-Rod getting in there, managing the distance well, getting the takedowns, laying the ground and pound. I haven't seen C-Rod really push the pace in a way to get a finish, but his fucking conditioning is ridiculous. If he wanted to finish the fight, I feel like he could. I always made the improvements to do so, but I more than likely see a dominant decision coming in for C-Rod. Next in middleweight, we got Ateba Gautier versus Jose Medina. Just a younger guy at 22 years old is Ateba. He has really good kickboxing. I like his wrestling too, but I think his power sticks out more than anything. He's coming off the Contender Series, and I think he has a lot of potential generally. Probably going to get the finish. I usually side with younger guys when it comes to these fights, but there's some veterans out there that I definitely back, but I see Ateba getting this done. Probably an early finish, but if I had to say, it could go to decision, but if Ateba loses, it'd be a large upset. So I'm going with Ateba either by decision or by knockout. And with the feature prelim, we've got Edgar Chairez versus CJ Vergara. Shout out CJ Vergara. He has one of the best comebacks of all time, in my opinion, against Daniel Lacerda, who's I was a huge fan of in the past, but he went 0-4 in the UFC, the most exciting 0-4 run of all time. I think he actually has the highest knockdown rate per 5 minutes in UFC history for flyweights, but he's not in the UFC anymore because he went 0-4. But he actually went against, these guys have both fought Daniel Lacerda, so this will be a fun matchup considering they're both former opponents, but I think Edgar Chairez just has way more in the tank. I think he has better striking. I think he's got better cardio. And CJ Vergara is just so undersized flyweight, which is so depressing to say. I can't believe someone's undersized at flyweight other than Joshua Van. I could see Edgar Chairez snapping up one of those guillotines in round 3, probably outlast CJ Vergara in the cardio, pieces him up across the cage, and then catches with the guillotine. And yeah, that's how I see that one going. To start off the main card, we've got Kevin Borjas and my boy Ronaldo Rodriguez. I love Ronaldo Rodriguez's style at flyweight, and I'm so glad Dana White's giving more of a spotlight to these flyweight fighters. He's generally one of the more interesting flyweights considering his style. He's the definition of a grinder, and he has a great chin. He can get dropped, get right back up, and start working. All of his real game is from his submissions, but for some reason, his striking still works a little bit. It's the most basic form of striking I've ever seen in flyweight. There's no speed to it, no real power, but it somehow works because he just pushes forward constantly. That's kind of why I see happening. Wears the fuck out of Kevin Borjas because he doesn't have that much cardio in comparison to a guy like Ronaldo Rodriguez, and probably gets subbed in the second or third. I could also see his fight going to decision and being quite a dominant one for Ronaldo Rodriguez. And follow up, we got a fun matchup between Simon Oliveira and David Martinez. David Martinez being the much younger fighter, coming off Dana White's Contender Series, fighting an 0-2 fighter. Let's be real with what this is. It's a feeding to the Sharks, and the Shark happens to be David Martinez. Simon Oliveira is not UFC talent. We've seen that time and time again. I know 18-5, in my opinion, is actually a very impressive record. 0-2 in the UFC is fucking not. So I see him getting blown out and probably knocked out or clubbed and subbed in the second or first. The return of Raul Rosas Jr. is upon us, and we're about to see how much he's improved against a guy like Vinc Morales. Vinc Morales is a very good overall fighter. He's good at grappling. He has decent cardio, good striking, kind of a jack of all trades, but he's not amazing at any one thing. And Raul Rosas is amazing at wrestling and amazing at jiu-jitsu. Can he implement it? That's what we really want to find out in a matchup like this. And I'm excited to see it. I've got Raul Rosas really making the improvements. He took some time off. Probably get the striking off a little bit, but regret it. Probably get tapped a few times with some jabs and some hard right hooks, and then shoot for some takedowns and hopefully get a sub early. If not, I still think he can dominate on the ground as long as he doesn't gas himself out and he's worked on the cardio hard enough. Being as young as he is and not even being in the rankings yet, I think he's made the improvements, but only time will tell. Another middleweight matchup between Joe Pyfer and Kelvin Gastelum, Mr. Body Bags himself, Joe Pyfer. I'm not high on Joe Pyfer at all. He got fraud checked by Jack Hermanson. You're hearing that right. Jack Hermanson. Jack Hermanson is literally just an Aussie gatekeeper. In fact, he gatekeep the guy like Joe Pyfer. Joe Pyfer has hands. Let's be real. He has fucking hands. That's why he's called Body Bag. He's got hands. What else? Nothing. I don't see any potential for Joe Pyfer in the middleweight division. I think he chins a few guys that suck. Like, he could probably chin Anthony Smith. He could probably chin a guy like Ryan Spann, but who can't chin Ryan Spann? I don't see this fight really proving anything for anyone. I don't really see the huge point of it. I hope Kelvin Gastelum can also use his vet prowess and his experience to beat Joe Pyfer, and I kind of see that happening. Maybe a split decision, 29-28 for Kelvin Gastelum, if he uses the wrestling. If he doesn't use the wrestling, you'll probably get chinned, let's be real. Fat fuck Kelvin Gastelum, please make weight for me, and please just beat Joe Pyfer. If you can't do that, you're worse than Jack Hermanson, and you go down as one of the worst weight cutters in UFC history. Never go back to welterweight. With the co-main event, we got Manuel Torres versus Drew Dober. Striker's dream, baby. No way this hits the ground. Younger guy, Manuel Torres, with a little bit more potential. He got chinned in his last outing, but otherwise, he's always really good on the feet. He has a decent chin. It's the first time I saw him really get cracked. Mexico City backing. I do lean a little bit for him, but man, you can't count Drew Dober out. He's ageless, and being the older guy, you think, oh, you know, he's on his way out. No, he's not. Drew Dober will be the forever gatekeeper of lightweight. Considering he's even fought guys like Islam Makhachev, you can't count Drew Dober out. He has the experience factor over everyone. I lean towards Drew Dober in this. I think I'm like so back and forth about this, but I want to say Drew Dober uses his experience and edges out a decision victory, 29-28. But this is my biggest no pick of the night because I really don't know which way I lean for this. I don't think a guy like Manuel Torres has the skill of a guy like John Silva, where he's just super dynamic. His striking is a little bit basic if you compare it to a guy like John Silva. Either way, fight of the night pick is for Manuel Torres versus Drew Dober. With the main event, we got Steve Erceg, Bedtime MMA, gonna get fucking chinned and destroyed by Brandon Moreno. Brandon Moreno is the weirdest, most inconsistent fighter when it comes to taking breaks. And thank God he hasn't really taken too much of a break since his last fight, because he fought Amir Albazi in his last fight. He looked really good. The jab was there. The right hand was there. The body kicks were there. Inside leg kicks. He looked like himself. He didn't look like that fight he had against Brendan Royval, which is so fucking bad. Steve Erceg has the boxing. I understand this, right? But so does Brandon Moreno. I think Brandon Moreno's boxing is better than Steve Erceg. We kind of have seen a huge downfall from Steve Erceg since having a really close fight that I thought he won against Pantoja. But since then, it's been downhill. I still believe in Steve Erceg, but do I believe him against Brandon Moreno? No, I do not. I just don't think he has the skill. I don't think he has the talent. I think he just got pushed way too soon. I can't believe they're getting him Brandon Moreno after 2 straight losses. Here we are, got chinned by Kai Kara France, a guy that Brandon Moreno already beat. And say, oh, you know what we should do? Feed him to Brandon Moreno. I don't even understand why they're doing Erceg so dirty. Give him a fucking tune-up fight, please. But Yeah, I don't see us going any other way but a Brandon Moreno finish or decision. It'll be either a dominant decision or a finish in the second or third. I guess we'll see which, but this makes me so excited for UFC Mexico. If you guys think I missed anything or, any of my takes were trash, let me know in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one.